Good afternoon and welcome to Sunday Coffee with the OmniBros Live guys. We are the OmniBros. My name is Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault on YouTube, joined with my fabulous co-host Lou from Comics Guide 101. How you do, Lou?
Hey, it's good, man. It's another Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday today.
Yeah, the sun's shining. I'm sure it's 37 degrees out, but that's cool. The sun's out. I'm okay with that.
It is right now, I think 55. Let me take
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's like 55.
What's up, fellow quality literature aficionados? Psycho Seb, what's up? Let's see. Wait, I introduced you, and Gabe will be joining us soon. And first, of course, I will be talking about our fabulous sponsor, InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts at another 2% to that. At the end of every month, you could be the lucky recipient of a $50 gift card provided by the fabulous people at InStockTrades.com. Order $50 or more worth of books in the United States. You get free shipping, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Whew. And Duck Collector's going to Target. I'm going Target to Target right now. What are you looking for, Duck Collector?
Ooh, I'm gonna guess Transformers because Tyler got the group really riled up earlier this week.
Doug, yeah, I don't know what the collector's going after in Target. I am currently still working on this stupid Transformer. Well, he's not stupid, but I know I'm close to getting him to transform. I'm just worried I'm going to break something by forcing it. So I'm trying to be careful, but I don't want to force it. So you're right. The collector is going for Transformers.
I told you.
And Psycho says, comics, one of the only things in life keeping the darkness away. That and peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
What's up, Jess and Lou? How are you guys doing? What's up to the chat? Welcome, Lionheart.
Hey, Lionheart. How's it going, man?
Gary Sandberg does the wake and bake, and now he's waiting for his Sunday news.
It's been a while since I've done the wake and bake, man.
I don't know that I ever wake and baked, even in college.
There was a point in last year where wake and bake was part of my routine. So,
well, last year everybody did what they had to hang on. So,
yeah,
I'm certainly not one to judge.
That was before cats.
Then, oh yeah.
After cats, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Cats broke you?
I told you, cats broke me, man. Cats was the thing where I was like, all right, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't do this anymore.
That must have been a psychedelic trip, man.
Oh, God, cats fucked me up.
So what's going on, man? What is there any news that we can talk about besides WandaVision? I know we want to talk a little bit about it. We don't want to get into spoilers for people that haven't seen it. So we want to sort of discuss how awesome Elizabeth Olsen is in it.
I can't. We're going to wait for Gabe before we jump into this because I want to hear his thoughts on it. But it's WandaVision is something, man. It is something.
It's good, right?
We will see. We'll talk about it in a little bit.
You're not even going to give an opinion. Okay.
No. I have my feelings on WandaVision.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that.
You're not going to kill my buzz, are you? Oh, you're not saying.
We will see. I'm not going to say, man.
Well, I've already seen it, so my buzz is high. My buzz is so high you can't kill it. I don't think. Let's see. I'm working on my Transformer piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked hard on a Judge Dredd list this morning for the Omnibus group.
Yeah.
and posted it. So I hope that helps some people. It helped me to put it on paper. I really need to make that video about it. It might help some people figure out how to jump into Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
It can be an overwhelming experience. It was for me, and I boiled it down to the simplest, easiest to follow major books, and it gave me a complete Judge Dredd experience. And I figured out which one I was missing, and I figured out why it's not on any website that I could find. I knew I was missing a giant piece because there was he jumped from one thing to a completely different experience, and it's because the book's way out of print and like $800 on Amazon.
Jesus.
So I figured it out and just got it on my Kindle, or my iPad rather. And so I told everybody about that. So I will try and do that Judge Dredd this month. I have 2 weeks left in the month. So I have to do Best of 2020 and Judge Dredd. The collector says our Wi-Fi is going in and out. Are you sure it's not your Wi-Fi?
It might be him, because I think we're fine.
Is anybody having a problem with our reception of us? You should see me and Lou and hear us.
Oh, he was in responding to Mike, age 81, I think. Anyone else having a problem with the video freezing while watching these live shows on TV? This happens about half the time, but only in the live shows on this channel. I don't know.
Oh, okay. That's what the collector is saying. Sorry, the collector, you were responding to Mike. Happens about half the time, but only the live shows on this channel. That's odd. Could be my TV. Whoop, no problem. Okay, Remco says no problem there.
Okay.
Could be my TV is wired, but everything is fine on my laptop, which is Wi-Fi. Unplug some stuff. That's what I do, says the collector. And Martian Pilgrim says stream is fine. So, Mike, I think it sounds like it could be the problem could be on your end. So, unplug everything in your house except us, like refrigerator, stove, dishwasher. Unplug everything, turn off every light, and just watch us.
Jess, where can they find books?
I already did that, dude.
I am so spaced out this morning. I apologize.
Did you wake and bake?
I did not. I'm just tired.
Some of the Judge Dredd books can be found at in-stock trades, but a lot of them are either you need to get them used from Amazon or eBay. From 2000, you can download them from 2000 AD's website or Amazon's Kindle store. Like when I first started, Case Files number 5, which I think is the one everybody needs to start with, was way out of print, and I just got lucky. No, somebody sent it to me. Somebody sent it to me as a gift. And I got, which was really generous because it was way out of print. And then it came back into print 6 months later. So, who's this nerd? Guys are a mess this morning. What do you mean, man?
A little bit. So, day 13 for me on this Daniel fast / pescatarian diet. It is actually not that bad.
What did you just eat there?
This was gnocchi with a little bit of pesto sauce and vegan sausages mixed into it.
You can have pasta?
Gnocchi is just basically potatoes. It's just rolled up potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, I can have a little bit of, as long as it's not like flat out bread, I could do gnocchi. It's not that bad.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it hasn't been that bad, and I've lost 10 pounds on day 13 of this. So,
wow.
It's not bad. The initial hump really sucked. The first 7 days really sucked, but afterwards it's not bad. I mean, I feel like I've got more energy, and I don't know. I might stick with this a little longer.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I've been enjoying it a lot. I'm not gonna go full vegan just because I can't do that.
I've seen your burgers. There's no way you're giving those up.
Oh, no. Every once in a while I'll do one of those, but I could actually really. I've been enjoying this so far after that initial 7 days, which really sucked.
Yeah, I think the first couple weeks of a diet where you're eliminating things, especially like sugar, those can be tough.
Yeah. So I haven't had chicken or red meat in a little bit over 14 days. So we're going on about 2 weeks since I've had chicken or red meat, and I actually feel better.
Is that all you eliminate?
I eliminated chicken, red meat. I haven't been doing white rice. And I haven't done any bread, like bread. Like I did gnocchi right now, obviously, but that's really just, like I said, a rolled up little potato pieces. And I've been feeling great.
Cool. That's good.
It's been good stuff, man.
I can't remember the last time I had a piece of bread, and I have black coffee. And we have questions. Lionheart says, Jess, have you picked up the Moon Knight? Yes, I pre-ordered it, but it hasn't come in yet. Or the Infinity Crusade Omnibus. No, I did not. I think that's in my Infinity box set. Infinity, whatever it's called, box set. I don't need any of those Omnis, I'm pretty sure. But yes, to Moon Knight. I sold my epics to fund my Omni. Don't tell Curtis. Actually, props to Curtis because he sent me my copy of For Better or For Worse, or the publisher did rather, that he does work for. And I want to read that because For Better or For Worse was a fantastic comic strip in the 80s and 90s by Lynn Johnston. So I'm way into reading it. Madelyn Melest asks, either of you reading Future State? Have you been reading Future State?
I have not, man. I've been kind of choosy lately with DC stuff, mostly because it's been more miss than hit for me personally. That's just my 2 cents. But I have been curious about a few things, and I plan to jump in and read some of that stuff later on this week. What I have been reading over the past 2 days, it's a Batgirl book. It's Cassandra Cain, and it's a retelling of her origin story with Babs. And I can't remember the name of it. Jess, you would love this book.
It's a standalone book?
It's a standalone.
Why don't I know this book?
Oh, what's the name of it? It came out last year.
It did?
Mm-hmm.
What's it? Oh, I was just going to say, what's it called? But you're struggling to remember what it's called.
The name of it, yeah.
I really should separate out my Batgirl section. It came out last year, and I don't have it, and it's Cassandra Cain?
Yeah.
Suck. I want that.
Shadow of the Batgirl. Thank you, NFL dude. That's the one.
What's it called?
Shadow of the Batgirl. Dude, it's really good.
Oh, wait a sec. Oh, that's the I've read that.
Yeah.
That's the digest size one.
Yeah, that's really good. It's really fun.
Oh, yeah. I did read that. That's where Babs is the librarian.
Yeah. It's for those of you that haven't read it, it's a retelling of Cassandra Cain's origin with Babs, and it's so good.
Let me go get it real quick.
Yeah, you basically have Cassandra Cain, who before she even becomes Batgirl in this book, you see her origin story, what led her to become Batgirl, and her interaction first with Babs, and how she eventually develops to trust her, and it's such a fun read. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah. And Madelyn says that's the one. Yep.
It is such a fun. I love the art. I absolutely love the art in this.
All right, let's take a look.
It reminds me of something like that you would find in Lumberjanes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this book was great. I reviewed this when I did a whole video on these some of these young adult novels.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one of the ones I included. This is a great book. Because she basically lives in the library.
Mm-hmm.
It's super good.
Yeah, it also deals with how she has a bunch of trauma from how she was raised, and how she ultimately makes the decision not to kill anybody and become Batgirl. I love this book. I wish I had read this last year, but it's really fun. That's a good, solid, all ages Batgirl story that anybody can pick up, and they don't need to know anything about the character.
Right. And I would encourage everybody out there not to turn up your nose at these books, because these are going to be on my books of 2020, best of 2020, like this.
Mm-hmm.
Harley Quinn breaking glass, Superman versus the smashes the Ku Klux Klan.
Mm-hmm.
These are really awesome books. So don't deprive yourself because they're small and they have, you know, graphic novel for young adults on them. These are, whoops.
Hey, Gabe.
Hey, Gabe. Hey, Gabe.
What up, dudes? What up?
Yeah.
What do you got there, Jess? What are you showing us?
Shadow of the Batgirl.
Okay, can you start over? Tell me everything that you just said.
It's great, and Lou loves it. And I highly agree with him.
So where were these originally released?
I think this is it.
Yeah, those are original graphic novels for the young reader audience.
Yeah.
It's that Catwoman one they did. That was kind of like sketchy, controversially.
Oh yeah, I didn't read that one because I didn't heard about that.
Yeah, the Raven one. There's a handful of them, but yeah.
That one, okay, so don't look down just because it was just a self-published, like young adult book or whatever it is. It's actually really good. It's a fun read, and I really recommend everybody out there to check it out. I enjoyed it a lot.
Nice. Good recommendation. I agree with that. And if you want more recommendations on these books, go to Omnidog's Vault and look for my young adult graphic novels video. You'll get a lot of good ideas. Here is a good question for all three of us from Mr. Body Massage. Hey, 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 Mr. Body Massage.
I can go for one of those right now.
What is the one book you wish you could read for the first time again?
New Frontier.
Ooh, good choice.
Well, all my stuff is on the floor, so I can kind of look around and see. I don't know. That's a good question. That's going to take some thinking and some talking.
I'd say Absolute Justice, but I forget it every time that I read it, and so it's like a new experience every time. So I'm going to say Marvels.
Ooh.
By Art Busiek and Alex Ross.
I have never read Marvels.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a must.
That is a must. I have it in an unreadable format. It's so big and huge, I can't even read it.
Oh, you know that massive one that was in like that cardboard box that you have to like tear apart?
Yeah.
Don't get that one, Lou.
Yeah, don't get that. There's a deluxe edition, and that's what I'm going to get. So I have a reader copy. This thing's ridiculous. It's not as big as effing Nemo, but it's so bulky that it can't be read. And Madelyn's pick would be Upgrade Soul. That's an interesting pick. That's the book I'm afraid of. I'm going to read that with Kristan, but I've heard that's such an out-of-body experience that Kristan said it broke her. But I'm going to read that eventually.
So I was thinking that if I wanted to read something again for the first time, I wanted it to be something that had like a massive twist that everybody knows now that, you know, I kind of want to experience for the first time again.
Oh, yeah.
And I was looking around. I think the best book for that, I don't have the book here, but it would have to be Flashpoint Batman.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, those reveals of, like, you know, who the Joker is and all that kind of stuff was mind twisting, and it really like messed me up for a little bit because there was some really gnarly stuff that happened. I think that was issue 2. It was only a 3-issue storyline, but that issue where they reveal everything that's going on, it just takes a phone call, is the one book that I would love to just go through again and not know what happened and just get that kind of like reaction out of it again.
My wife's vacuuming upstairs. I can't hear anything right now. I'm calling her to ask her to cut it out, but she can't hear me because of the vacuum.
I could hear the vacuum on your end.
Can you hear it?
I can kind of hear it now. I didn't notice it until you pointed it out.
Yeah, until you said
I'll
something.
be right back.
But yeah, Flashpoint Batman. That's a game changer, and I'd like to experience that for the first time again.
Dude, you know what? I just started rereading because of all the hype of Vision by Tom King, and God, man, what a great little miniseries that was. I would get that.
Tom King needs to. I like this Batman. I know it's pretty divisive, and I think 80% of that book I really enjoyed, probably even more, honestly, of that run. But when DC leaves him alone, and he just gets those kind of like D-list, C-list characters, he can fly. That's when Tom King is at his best. You got Vision, Omega Men, Mr. Miracle.
Yep.
Like, yeah, if you just leave him alone and let him do what he wants to do with no like corporate input, because it's Batman and they need to sell as much Batman underwear as they can. Just give him the characters that are just kind of just D-list, kind of forgotten off the radar, and let him bring them back. Those are his best works.
I kind of have to think, though, that I think that Batman run kind of took the wind out of his sails a little bit for a lot of fans, especially in some ways. I kind of think, and I'm over it because I wasn't a huge fan of the marriage issue either, but I think in some ways that Batman marriage issue really took the wind out of his sail for a lot of fans.
Well, he took a lot of flack for that, and it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault, but he's taking the brunt of all that, and DC just let him take it. Yeah. Everybody was mad because DC hyped it up to stores and retailers and the fans that this was a wedding issue, and of course, spoilers, that did not happen. So everybody felt cheated and hurt and misguided, and that wasn't Tom King's fault at all, but he's the one who's just taking all the heat for that.
Yeah.
And because of that one issue, everybody hates his entire run. The rest of that run is beautiful. It's such great stuff. Great run. Again, when you have 80-issue run, you're going to have a couple dips here and there in quality and whatnot, but the peaks way outmeasured the little valleys that you run into with that book, or that run.
I didn't care for the I Am Suicide, that first arc of his Batman stuff. I thought that was pretty weak. It did nothing for me.
I agree. That first issue, when I read it, and he's like guiding the airplane, and he's like, Alfred, would this be a good death and my parents be proud? Like, it was really kind of, but maybe I think he was just, I don't want to, it's not, I don't want to just keep trying to apologize for his work, but maybe that was just him kind of getting into the sea legs. He needed his Batman legs at that point. Who knows? Yeah. But again, that was one of the parts that dipped. But then you get things like Kite Man, and you get like the Bane storyline and the jokes, riddles, like all the rest of that stuff is really. I haven't read the Batman Catwoman stuff right now, which is apparently out of continuity.
Yeah.
But man, that rest of that series is top notch.
He was it Tom King that did that Swamp Thing issue, that one shot, because that is one of my favorite single issues of all time. Like my favorite one shot issues. That Swamp Thing was fucking great. He really crushed it on that. And give it up to Mitch Gerrits too, the artist that he had on Mr. Miracle. Yep.
And they did that Sheriff of Babylon book, he really went to town on that book too. Like Mitch Garrett is, God, those two are great. I was really enjoying was it Strange Adventures?
I haven't read that yet, but I want to read it.
The first issue was good. The pandemic delayed the other issues, and it fell off my radar. But when that comes out in like a hardcover, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read book 5 yet because it hasn't come out. Wait, has it come out yet? Book 5.
Book 5 of what?
I haven't. Tom King's Batman. I haven't read it yet, and I'm not up to date. But
do you have it, Jess?
Sorry?
Do you have it?
Yeah.
Okay, because that one's out of print.
Book 5?
Book 5, yeah.
Oh, wow. Good thing I have it.
That's what I was asking.
Books 3 and 4 contain some of my favorite Batman stories ever and some of my favorite art ever. I am a huge fan. I haven't seen what his finish is like on it, but up to this point, I am a huge fan of Tom King's Batman. I love it.
You're right on the art about that, Jess. There's some great artists that pop up in that book. I mean,
Janine.
Yeah, Janine. Who's the lady that was doing Catwoman?
Joelle Jones.
Joelle Jones in that series as well. David Finch came back. He did like the first arc or two. It was really, really great. It's people need to just get over that issue 50 or whatever it was of the wedding issue and enjoy the rest of the book.
That wasn't handled well by DC. I love books 1 through 4. I get what you're saying about the Gotham and Gotham Girl. That wasn't the best start, but I can read
about that. You don't get the Psycho Pirate stuff with Gotham Girl.
That's true.
It's great.
Yeah, I loved books 3 and 4. I just could keep reading them, and I also solved the Transformer issue. He is now put together.
Oh, is that the Back to the Future one?
Yeah.
I couldn't get it to flip to give him his chest piece, so I finally got it right.
Nice. Those things are hard to transform these days. Like when I was a kid, you could kind of just figure it out on your own. And I would just throw away the instructions as a kid, but now it's like, oh, I need those instructions back, and I'm like digging in the trash for them.
I really didn't want to go to YouTube to watch a video on how to make this thing.
Hey, man, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
So I am happy that I finally got it.
So for me, Tom King's Batman run it's a mix of highs and lows. When he hits high, for me, he hits real high. I love jokes and riddle stuff. I dug what he was doing with Bane. I hated the I Am Suicide arc. I did not care for like the whole situation with the wedding, which that can be attributed to editorial and a lot of poor decisions that were made and stuff like that. So it's a mixed bag for me. I'm obviously able to see like the good that it has. I think there's a lot of good stuff in there. And if you've wanted to jump into a Batman run, I think it's not a bad start. I personally would always suggest you start with the Snyder stuff simply because that's more fun and mainstream and versus kind of the Tom King introspective look inside of Batman. Oh, was this going to be a good death and all that stuff? I was like, okay.
That was a really weird first issue. Like you're like, I'm really getting out of there.
I hated that fucking first issue. I really hated that.
I didn't read it again after that until like people were really started talking about this jokes and riddle stuff and this Iron Bane stuff, and I was like, okay. And then the hardcover came out, and I was like, I read through. I go, all right, let me just torture myself through this first issue again of him crying on the airplane, Alfred. And then you know, you got to get through that to get through, like again, like I said, the Psycho Pirate stuff with Gotham Girl, which is really, really awesome stuff.
I think it's also he also ran into the problem that he was coming off of Scott Snyder's run, which for all intents and purposes, in a few years or even right now, I mean, say what you will, it's probably going to be referred to as a modern day classic of a Batman run, because that run really brought a lot of people in on top of it being the new 52 stuff, and it has its problems. I know people don't necessarily really enjoy it that much. The Mr. Bloom stuff is pretty bad. It's not that good.
And anytime you take Bruce Wayne out of the picture as Batman is
Yeah.
Usually not a good thing.
Yeah. The Mr. Bloom stuff wasn't that good. I had fun with Alfred being like the RoboCop and stuff like that. I was like, okay, well, you guys are playing with this a little bit in these issues, and it's okay. I think he stuck the landing overall to that New 52 run because he brings it back full circle. But if somebody were to tell me where would I start with a modern day Batman run, I wouldn't tell them to start with Tom King because that first arc, I just don't think it doesn't grab you as well as like his other stuff that he puts on, that he does later on. I would honestly tell them, go ahead and start with the Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder run, where you don't need to know anything. First arc is Court of Owls, which they are fucking everywhere now. They're going to be in video games and rumored in movies and stuff like that. So start with that.
Oh, there's no rumor. They're in that Batman movie. They were in the trailer.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know that. So I would honestly tell them to start that. And then if you finish that and you're jonesing for a little bit more Batman, I mean, yeah, if you want to keep going with more modern day stuff, go with the Tom King stuff. But it would be with the caveat of, look, the first arc, not that great. For me, not that great, but it does pick up.
Yeah. There's not a lot of runs or arcs I think you could point people to when it comes down to things like Batman. It's a lot of like, here's this storyline, here's this storyline, here's this storyline. You jump around. You can't just go read like 300 issues of Batman or anything like that. Besides the Capullo Snyder stuff, which was, what was it, 52 issues, 60 issues, something like that.
Something like that.
Other than that, you go, hey, go read, Year One, go read Dark Knight, go read Hush, go read Long Halloween, go read these storylines. It's really kind of how it works out for me, for Batman.
I love the Poison Ivy arc after Jokes and Riddles. That is brilliant, and I love the couples going out on a date. 2 issues for that. I just thought that was so fun. Though the couples thing was so fun, and then the Poison Ivy thing was so intense and so radical. And those are both drawn by Janine, so they're perfect. I thought those were just perfect issues.
Yeah. And then
the annual, that annual with that
when
one.
they're old.
Yeah. When they're old?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! See, this to me is where Tom King's strength is. These little self-contained stories, 10, 12 issues, 1 issue, 1 shot. Because that annual, he crushes that annual. Yeah. It's another 1 shot where I'm like, man, that was great. Where you see them grow old together and that relationship develop, and you're like, wow, we will never get this in comic form because that's just not how comics work. But it's a beautiful little love story. That
one annual is probably one of the best Batman stories in like.
I totally agree. I got all choked up at it
since like Flashpoint Batman. Like that one issue is almost better than all the Snyder Capullo's run. Like with the emotion and like the self-contained story and remembering it. Like, oh god, I'm gonna cry just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's absolutely beautiful. I love that annual.
But how did we get on that?
Huh?
How did we get on that?
I have no clue. But I think the other book that kind of took the wind out of him was that Heroes in Crisis.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they even came out and said that was an editorial mandate.
Yeah.
And do all kinds of messed up stuff because apparently Dan DiDio has a vendetta against Wally. Or maybe it's Omnidog is really Dan DiDio in disguise.
I don't hate him that much. I don't even hate him. I love him. He's just not my Flash. He's great. I love Wally.
See, Wally is my Flash. So
yeah, they're still doing a lot of mess up stuff with Wally in the DC apparently as well.
Jesus,
I don't know what's going on there.
But he took a lot of flack for that run, and I think was it you, Gabe, that spoke to him, and he was talking about editorial, or you had heard that editorial was the one that messed up back when you worked at the shop. Yeah,
he told me that, and I think they've even DC's come out and said that, or insiders have said that. Yeah, it was just a big editorial mess.
Yeah,
I think we can just ignore that book. Just pretend it didn't happen.
Headcanon, not in there.
No,
it's not in there.
No, it'll be retcon like right after it happened, I think.
It's forgotten. Yeah, it's a forgotten storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sunday Coffee with the Omnibros, also known as How Did We Get Here? That's the question I asked. So, WandaVision.
Okay, can we... I really want to talk spoilers with this. Is there any way we get a banner down there for like we did?
Yeah. What do you want to spoil though? There's really we can talk about it with in depth without spoiling anything. First of all,
I don't really what there is to spoil.
Yeah, if you're gonna start speculating, then I want to leave the room because I want everything to be a surprise.
I think I know what's going on.
Okay, well then
let's not talk about that. I'm the same as Jess. I'm going to go in there fresh.
I want to go in there way surprised.
I don't want you to spoil my mind whatsoever, Lou.
Yeah.
Don't you inception me with that shit.
I think I'm not going to say what it is, but I have
don't say anything.
I have a good inclination of what's going on.
Okay, don't.
I'll leave it. I will leave it.
Let's talk about everything but your thoughts.
Because there's really not much to spoil. I think we can talk about those 2 episodes and not really say much. Not a lot, like so far that we can tell story-wise really happens. It's literally just the first episode is an I Love Lucy idea kind of storyline or episode, and then the second one is like Bewitched. But it's just really, if you grew up like I did, I grew up watching all those black and white like TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Even, not even before it was even like Nick at Night, but like they used to show that stuff all the time. I grew up watching I Love Lucy. My sister's a huge I Love Lucy fan. Like that's her thing. She collects all that kind of stuff. And then it's Bewitched, and it just has that really great kind of corny 50s and 60s like feel to it, where Wanda doesn't work, and it's the neighbors who come over and they visit you, and nobody has a cell phone, and nobody watches TV all day long. But I don't know. Like I said, there's not a lot to really spoil in it.
I liked Elizabeth Olsen. First of all, obviously, I love Elizabeth Olsen, so I'm going to gush about her acting ability because she portrays the ditzy housewife and then can turn on a dime and something's like when the boss is choking at dinner, she turns on a dime and brings it grounded back to reality and gets a hint of that something's wrong overall, but she doesn't know what. But when she's saying Vision help him, when she goes from ditzy to concerned, I think it's really fun to see that. It goes like the emotional range that she goes through. I really like that. Because you don't see Vision do it that much, but Wanda does it a lot, where she's clued into something's not right, but she doesn't know what yet.
Yeah, there's a lot not right going on. Like Vision spends most of his time in human form. You don't really see him in his robot form a lot. Working some dead-end job.
Yeah, not knowing what it is that he's doing.
They just write correspondence, apparently. It's weird.
So I binged the first 2 episodes. My fiance and I watched it. I really dug it a lot. It's slow. It's really slow. I will say I can see people dropping off after the first 2 episodes. If you're not, I can see that. I can genuinely see that. I think the second episode is much stronger than the first episode. But I have a love for these classic TV shows because that's the stuff that I grew up watching. I'm the Nick at Night generation, so
and I'm the original Run generation.
I would go to sleep watching reruns of like The Honeymooners and I Love Lucy and the Dick Van Dyke Show and all that stuff. So I think it's brilliant so far. I love that this feels genuinely like this could have been one of those shows from back then. It doesn't feel like it's a parody of those shows. It feels like it could have really been a show during the time of Bewitched or during those early black and white broadcasting shows. I think like I said, I think the second episode is a lot better than the first, but I can see modern day audiences, especially younger audiences, going into this thinking, oh, this is a Marvel show. Like, where's all the cool Marvel stuff? This is just kind of a weird black and white show. But what I really loved about it is there's a bit of an undertone of something isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the first 2 episodes, for me, there was always just this little bit of uneasiness, like, okay, something isn't right, something's going to break eventually. And we start seeing the cracks a lot more in the second episode versus the first episode, which is the first episode, I think, is Disney was really smart in doing this. They gave us the first 2 episodes, because I think if they gave us just the first episode, I think a lot of people would have dropped it and not have continued with it, simply because it's like, okay, well, is the rest of the show going to be just this 1950s, 1960s black and white aesthetic? I don't really want to watch this. This really isn't doing it for me with the laugh track and the humor. But what really hooked me was just that uneasiness, and I think that knowledge of what Wanda can really do, and we haven't seen it in the TV show yet or in the movies, and how that's going to play out. There are hints of dialogue in here that I caught that I'm like, okay, there is something else to what this person has said. There's a lot more to this little line, this seemingly throwaway line, than what is actually being said.
I think there's a lot of Easter eggs back there. That you get to rewatch it a few times to figure things out. I think it's just great to finally get some Marvel MCU type stuff after what's it been, like 2 years since Spider-Man?
Do we know if this has there been a connection between this and it leading into something like the Doctor Strange movie? Or
they've said it will. They've said
okay.
Yeah, they said this is a lot of setup for the Doctor Strange movie, and I think this is going to be a lot of setup also for the Spider-Man movie that's coming out.
Okay. I would just say personally, I didn't feel the first episode was slow. I thought it was fine just the way it was. It seemed that it was deliberate for a purpose, but that's the way those shows were. Back then. I would encourage anybody to watch. I would say they both do need to be watched together, as you said. I never thought about it, but I guess people, if they just watched the first one and they thought it was slow, they might not give the second one a chance. So you really should watch them both together. I loved the first one and I really loved the second one, so I don't have that problem. But that's a good point that they should be watched together. To give it a real chance.
I kind of use my fiance kind of like a test for this, because she's not into the comics. She's not really huge on the superhero stuff, but she watches the Marvel stuff. And she was curious about WandaVision, so we watched it together. And I asked her after it was done, "What do you think?" And she's like, "It was all right." She really wasn't crazy about it.
Oh,
I think it's gonna be one of those shows that like you're gonna have to wait for a few episodes to come out. If you're the kind of person that wanted to go into this thinking, "All right, we're gonna get some more Avengers action, and this is gonna be great, and there's gonna be superheroes and all this kind of stuff," you're gonna be disappointed, because it's literally just a Bewitched and I Love Lucy episode. And I think you're right. Them releasing these 2 episodes back to back was a good idea, because that first episode really doesn't give you much. The second one gives you a little bit more, but there's still like there's no superheroes, there's no action, there's no appearances so far of any other MCU characters that we know of that's obvious or anything like that.
Right.
It's a little bit of a different, and it's going to be a slow burn. But I like this being a slow burn. Same with when they did it with Mandalorian, that we get the chance. It's like the community and fans get a chance to kind of, decompress it and to discuss it and have these conversations to kind of see what we got going on. It's really fun to be that way again, where you're like, "Hey, did you see WandaVision?" And you're like, "Yeah, I saw the same episode you did." It's not like, "Yeah, I saw it and I watched all 15 episodes in one day," and I'm like, "Oh, well, I just watched one because I got kids," or something like that. So it's really great to be able to take this bit by bit and be gradually fed this information and be able to like speculate and look into it more.
Did you notice who the guy with the funny nose and mustache is?
He's familiar. I remember him somewhere, but I just can't think of where.
It's David Schwimmer from Friends.
Is that really him?
Yeah, Schwerner or whatever his name is. David Schwimmer.
The boss? That was
is it Ross? No. Is that Ross?
Yeah, Ross is David Schwimmer, but I'm saying, who is he in WandaVision?
He gets fired the first episode, and then he's part of the secret club that Vision goes to in the library where he chews the gum. He's there at that meeting. He's got an odd nose and a big black mustache.
I missed that.
He's in both episodes. I think that's funny. He's like uncredited.
I think they were smart in the choice of making this only 20 to 30 minutes long, because I could see an hour of this really getting tiring.
Oh yeah.
Well, you can't do an hour long.
No,
it's supposed to be that way because that's the way the sitcoms were back in the 50s.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But I think they gotta pick up the pace a little bit, because I can see audiences growing tired of if they're slow drip feeding every single week just a little bit of 20-25 minute episodes, and they're all kind of this pace. And I know eventually we'll get to the great payoff, and I know that they're building up to something, but I'm speaking more of from the general audience, like my fiance, who she was really lukewarm and she doesn't even know if she's going to stick with it after the first 2 episodes. I could see a lot of fans, especially this day and age, where it is the binging generation, falling off of this because it just does not move, because we get almost nothing in the first 2 episodes of WandaVision. And even though I loved it, we got very little of exactly what is going on. I thought that scene at the dinner table where the boss is choking was fucking creepy. There was just an underlying tone.
I thought that was great.
It was great. I loved it. I wanted more.
Right. It was odd and creepy when the tone changes so much.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
And then you see the mom from That 70s Show. I forgot her name.
Oh, yeah.
She slowly starts to break with that smile on her face, like, stop it. Like, it's stuff like that I really dug, and it broke the pace up a little bit. But I really am curious how the general audience is going to react to this, because Mandalorian took off, but Mandalorian also had that incredible hook in that at the end of that first episode where they introduced Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
And that was trending all online. Everybody was like, yo, what the hell is going on? There's another Yoda in the universe when there was only 2 before, if you count Yaddle. So I think it's just going to get better as it goes, but I'm wondering if the audience is going to stay with it.
I think that this is going to be an exercise in how mature the audience is, if you can have the patience to let episode 3 play out, because at the end of episode 2 we got a big hit of Wanda.
Right.
I'll just say that we got a big hit of Wanda being Wanda, and I think people just have to have the patience to know that I'm almost positive that it's going to just keep giving more and more and more to you as it goes along. It had to start out with almost nothing, because that's part of the mystery. You want to set up the foundation for a mystery like this with giving you the basics and then adding stuff in. But we've already crossed that bridge now where she's really been Wanda. And so I think episode 3 is going to be more action, not super action packed, but I think you'll see a lot more happen to give them a little more cognizance of the fact that something's going on. Yeah. And that might hook people back in.
I'm glad you brought that up, because reviewers actually got the first 3 episodes where we got the first 2.
Oh.
And everybody, all the reviewers that I've read and I've listened to have said, first 2 episodes are slow. Third episode is where things really kick off and really start taking off. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to play off. I think the 3rd episode is supposed to be a parody of the Brady Bunch, if we're led to believe what it is. So I'm curious to see how that 3rd episode is going to play out.
Oh, good. That sounds good.
Yeah, I'm ready. I had a feeling that 3rd episode is probably going to be the one that locks everybody in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I wonder if it's going to be parody. I wonder if it's going to be parody after parody after parody, or if it's eventually going to morph into something that's not a TV show at the end.
Maybe at the end, but from all the trailers that they showed, it looks like they were going through like the history of TV.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess they would end with Modern Family. The 90s would be Married with Children, which I'm so looking forward to Vision just sliding his hand down.
Vision coming back out
a big beehive.
Vision coming home going, I just had the biggest, fattest woman come into the shoe store today. And she complained that her shoes broke. And then he goes, yeah, because there's a 400-pound weight limit to those shoes.
He's going to reminisce about his glory days when he was on the Avengers team.
Yeah, I mean, he scored 3 touchdowns against Thanos in a single game.
Yeah, so I love this show. It coincides perfectly with my crush on Elizabeth Olsen.
She's really cute as this 50s house mom.
And
she nailed it.
Dropped the accent.
Yes, she did.
There's no accent. Even though they say
she has like a more of a East Coast like 50s accent. Well, I guess it's kind of like from I Love Lucy, but she kind of has like a 50s Jersey girl accent. It seems like she has a little bit going on, but it's not.
It's not her Sokovian or whatever.
Yeah, it's not her gypsy accent or whatever.
But I think it's also given her acting abilities a chance for her to really act, because she was in other stuff before the Avengers where she could really act.
It's kind of fun to see her surpass her sisters a little bit when it was kind of the opposite before.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They're billionaires in the fashion industry. So.
Right, yeah, they're fashion moguls and stuff. But
yeah,
at least,
I love the Bewitched opening parody. I thought that was awesome.
Oh yeah, the little cartoon intro. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah, that was great.
I still remember seeing. I saw every Olsen Twins VHS 100 times with my daughter.
Oh no!
And I remember the 2 Olsen Twins. They called her Lizzie, and she was tiny, like 3 years old, and she barely put a sentence together, and they were like, "See you later, loser," or something in the video. And so Lizzie's gotten a little revenge on him that she's from her cameo in a Olsen Twins video. Yeah, I saw so many of those. Some of them were actually fun.
TLR Blunt in the chat. Hey man, I need a Grimlock and I need a hot rod. So hit me up and find any. I know he's going crazy after those things.
He's out looking for a Soundwave for me. Is that right? Soundwave, the beatbox guy with the boombox guy with the cassette dudes.
Yep. Yeah, that's Soundwave.
Okay.
Then I had the Masterpiece action figure for Soundwave, which is awesome.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds like I want it. Wait, I just said I was done. Okay, never mind.
You want me to show it to you and bait you?
Yes.
Okay, let me go get it.
But after Soundwave, that's it, because I've got Bumblebee also. That's enough.
Tyler says he's got a line on a hot rod for you, Gabe, if you want it. He can swing by and pick it up today.
Oh, Gabe says yes. Oh, look how big that thing is. It's huge.
Yeah, it's a big old box. These are like the big collector crazy style ones.
When did you get that?
Probably about 2-3 years ago.
not want that. I do not want that. I do not want that. I do not want
Oh,
whoa.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, and he comes with the Megatron gun. Jess probably doesn't realize what this is, but
I know.
it has the Megatron gun. The laser beak cassette. I think this one.
Laserbeak's a transformer that transforms into the cassette.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's this little like is this little spy. This little.
Wait a sec. Let me highlight you.
All right. He's a little bird.
Oh. Oh man, Transformers masterpiece.
And then he comes with the Energon cube.
The collector's message.
Yeah, this thing is awesome. I've always wanted the original Soundwave and never got him as a kid.
Oh,
in fact, once when I was a kid at Christmas, I opened up a Christmas gift and it was the Soundwave that I wanted.
Oh.
And my aunt goes, "Whoops, that's not for you. That's for your cousin." I gave it to my aunt.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you said, "Not now. It's not."
Yeah, so that sucked. So I've always wanted the original one, but this one is just as awesome.
The collector. I did ask for. My wife got me into Legos, but I haven't got them yet for my birthday.
It's okay. They're an investment for your retirement. That Soundwave is badass, dude.
Yeah, that is cool. Lionheart also has that.
Yeah, these masterpieces, they're expensive. They're like $150, $200.
Wow.
That's how much they were to buy.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're way expensive now on eBay then.
Probably, but they came out with a newer version of this that had more cassettes. Like it has like 3 or 4 cassettes. And I'm like, God damn it. But
I'm sorry, say that again.
There's a version that's out now that came with like 3 or 4 different cassettes.
Is that the smaller one? Or
No, it's the same thing. It just came with more cassettes. I'm going to transform him later.
Legos. Apparently, this is bothering the Europeans that we call them Legos.
It's Lego. Yeah.
Lego.
The plural for Lego is Lego.
So it's a Lego? Oh.
Legos. We all love Legos.
I actually bought a Lego thing the other day, too. Nothing crazy expensive or anything, but it's a Boba Fett helmet that you
Oh, that sounds cool.
Lego together. I'll show you guys on our hauls tomorrow.
Are some of those masterpiece ones? They don't sell them anymore, right?
No, they go out of print pretty fast.
Damn.
Let's see.
It's like,
N-Man 40 throwing the challenge down. Bring it on, buddy. I'll put Soundwave together. I figured out this dude on my own without having to go to YouTube. Bring Soundwave on. Okay, I'm going out and getting that one just to put it together. Oh, T-Lar Bloot is agreeing with him, you spud.
Are you at Target right now, Tyler?
Where are you, Tyler?
Did he just get a phone call from Target? We've got a shipment in and he's on his way.
If you're at Target, see if you can find one of those crangs also.
Gabe, do you need a Scourge too? He's asking.
No, thank you. I want Hot Rod and Grimlock and Snake Eyes.
This is going to be Tyler's new side hustle. He's just going to be getting transformed with everybody in the group and doing live streams from Target.
And here's
I'm okay with that.
Here's someone we're trying to convert to the dark side. Taylor Brown. I sent him some figures, and he's already got them in some poses and action scenes. So we're dragging him into the toy scene. kicking and screaming. No, I'm in his office above my garage pouting because I wasn't invited to this Transformers show.
We should do a Transformers show one day and invite Tyler on. We should do because our boy Frank did a 80s, 90s YouTube show on someone else's YouTube channel. Like, dude, we need to talk about some 80s and 90s cartoons one day.
Oh yeah, that'd be a popular one. I couldn't speak on it, but you guys should do that. That would be a great show. I bet a lot of people would like that show. Tyler wants to do that.
Yep.
80s and 90s cartoons. T-Lar Blunt will be on that show with you.
Let's do it. We did a cartoon episode like years ago. I think it was me, Lou, and Gio.
Was it? I thought it was... Oh, no, I'm thinking about the 90s show when Ryley dressed up.
Yeah, that was the three of us. That was back when it was the three of us. He had his hat on backwards and stuff.
Fat Albert was the 70s, I think.
Yeah, Fat Albert was like the 70s. That's when I was watching cartoons.
Early 70s, like 73 or 74 or something like that.
That show was always tainted for me now.
Hey.
Mm.
Now he's into G.I. Joes and Transformers. Legends, Marvel Legends, it was, he had enough of those. But now he went G.I. Joe figures, G.I. Joe books, G.I. Joe video game that was sucky.
Oh, you need to watch the G.I. Joe Resolute movie.
Oh,
that's the one that Lou just cannot talk enough about.
That's good. Well, Tyler's got to get it in right now because tax season's right around the corner, and he's not going to have a life for a few months after
he's
that.
He's going to be on lockdown pretty soon. Yeah.
Yeah. We're finally doing our Star Wars show Tuesday night with him before he disappears forever. Taylor and I are.
Whew.
Jess, why don't you tell them one more time while we're here about in-stock trades?
I'd be happy to. InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. At the end of every month, InStock Trades is kind enough to give us a $50 gift card to give away to lucky viewers out there in a random number generated gift thingy.
Just uses the internet to count. That's how it works.
Yeah. $50 or more in an order in the United States. That gets you free shipping. Fabulous customer service. Fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Cycle Sib likes the idea of doing the 90s, 80s cartoon.
Do you remember Pirates of Darkwater?
I have the DVD.
Only got one season out of that, and that was a cool show.
They never finished it. They never finished the storyline for it. Michael Edmund, that Warren Ellis G.I. Joe cartoon is the one we're talking about. G.I. Joe Resolute. It's amazing. It's the coolest G.I. Joe cartoon ever. Everybody gets murdered in that thing.
Just find G.I. Joe Resolute for free, streaming on Daily Motion. Thanks for the show. Adios, friends.
Enjoy, Tyler. Tell us what you think about it later, because it's going to change your life. I'm serious. That Snake Eyes, like,
badass.
Yeah, you think Snake Eyes was always cool? He's never been as cool as he is in that G.I. Joe Resolute.
Sorry, we don't have shelfies this week because Gabe has the shelfies, and I had to start the show because Gabe wasn't able to start it. I don't have any shelfies on my computer. Gabe has them all.
Yeah, we'll start. I'm sorry about that. I've been moving.
It's fine.
Today I was late because I had to move the old washer and dryer I have because we were selling that on OfferUp, and I couldn't get the stupid gas line off, and I almost blew up my house.
Oh, gosh.
Nice.
Not really, but I was scared the whole time. I was like, am I? Like, how much pressure should I put on turning this lug nut thing? Like,
yeah.
because it's not moving, and I can make it move, but I don't want to like break a gas line or do something like that. You know, I can stand on the wrench. You know, it's 220 pounds. So we'll move that thing, but it'll probably also blow up my house, and I didn't want to do that. Well, luckily, a lot of WD-40 helped. Now I got to go put our because the washer and dryer that we're selling is the ones that came with the house. And they're a little old and whatever, but you know, we got some money off of them offer up. So let's get rid of those and put our original washer and dryer back in. So I gotta do that. So I gotta take a door off the wall. Ugh. Having a house is something else. You guys, you know, Lou, the time you get, you know, your first house, you start learning how to do all this stupid shit. Like taking doors off the wall and not blowing up your house and your kids.
And then when you live in it for 30 years, you'll have enough saved up where you pay people to do that because you forget or you're too lazy.
I want to get to that point.
In my case.
I want to get to that point.
I went out and killed weeds yesterday, and that's about the extent of the effort I put into my house now at this point. I will spray weeds. Everything else is farmed out.
Do you have somebody? You have somebody that does the lawn and everything?
Yeah, I'm way over that.
Every weekend, you know that.
I'm way over that.
I had to go do yard work yesterday, actually. Because I got this massive backyard, and I had to like actually do some yard work in it yesterday too.
That was the one thing I hated about when I lived in the house as a kid. My dad would wake my ass up around 5, 6 in the morning on a Saturday to go do yard work and take care of the yard and stuff like that. I hated that crap.
Oh, I hate yard work.
I just wanted to watch cartoons, and he's waking me up.
I just want to watch DuckTales, Dad. Leave me alone.
That's actually how I am right now. I would just want to watch cartoons. I don't want to go out and hump mulch.
Yeah. And then you get mad at me when I messed up the lawn. Yeah, I don't know how to use the lawnmower, and you just gave it to me. What do you think is going to happen, Dad? I cut into the neighbor's lawn so many times.
I've never mowed a yard.
Really?
Never.
Yeah. It's not fun, and it's really.
I'm not looking to do it. I'm not that. Nope, not gonna do it.
It's really not fun when you have a push mower. Also, that's not fun at all.
My backyard now is a lot of plants and trees, and they all have like the little water spigots everywhere, so I don't really have to do much.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go out there. That's what I did yesterday. I went out there, and some of the leaves and rocks were getting in the way of the spigot, so the plants weren't getting water. So I had to like dig it out a little bit, and that was the extent. And I was like, you know what? I deserve to reward myself for doing all this hard work.
Oh, this is actually true what Tyler Blunt's saying here. This is funny. One time I accidentally set my lawnmower completely on fire, and the fire department had to come. After that, my dad wouldn't ever allow me to cut the grass again.
That's how you get out of chores, by messing it up. Michael Edmonds says that Tyler Blunt could set water on fire.
Don't be dissing Tyler Blunt. He's a saint of figures. So, anything else?
I'm good. I'm good. I got more unpacking to do to fill up these shelves.
Wait,
it's still there, and everything's on the floor.
Oh, okay. Tyler, you jerk. Okay, everybody can start being mean to him. Somebody tell T-Bone to get in gear with the TMNT episodes, and this is totally not true. Ping Jess. I'm pretty sure I'm waiting on him. That's a lie, you jerk. Yeah, it's totally Tyler's fault.
I just realized, we got to do that campfire this month.
Shit, that's right.
Yeah.
We'll do it, and they can just watch me put stuff on the shelf.
I am not free this week, but I'm free next week. This week. Not this weekend. The 30th, I'm free.
Well, let's do it then.
Okay. Sounds
do
good.
it here first, folks.
Okay, so Lou, where can they find you?
Find me at Comics Guide 101 on Twitter, and you can find my archivable videos at Comics Guide 101 on YouTube.
Gabe Arena?
You guys can find me on Instagram. Gabe Loves 90s Comics. Might as well be Gabe Loves 90s Comics and 80s and 90s cartoons, because we're going to talk about that one day. And then follow Omnibroslive also on Instagram. Hit us up on there.
And you can find me, Omnidog, on Omnidog's Vault on YouTube and Omnidogs_Vault on Instagram. And we have a show tomorrow at 8 p.m. The Omnibros do. And that is Haul, Previews, and Reads. And everybody, please go watch John Arcudi's interview that Taylor and I did. He is fantastic. That is on my channel. He's great.
Let's get him on this channel, and we could talk about, was it Major Bummer? Did he do Major Bummer?
He did do Major Bummer.
I love Major Bummer.
He'd be happy to do it.
Love Major Bummer.
He's a great guy. Okay, so please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Thank you to InStock Trades. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to my hosts. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Bye, everybody.